FlossTube, welcome back. This is Robin, and you have found my channel, Lady Robins, and that's my name here on FlossTube, and also on Instagram, so you can find me both places if you're looking for a little cross-stitch inspiration. This channel, like I just said, is about cross-stitch, and I hope you find something that inspires you to pick up your stitching, something that makes you happy when you look at it, and I am thrilled that you're here and you're with me. This is my FlossTube number 36, and it's Tuesday. It is the 16th of June. 16th of June. Who knew we'd get that far? All right. So today our mug of the week is New Orleans. Isn't that cool? Doesn't that make you want to go have beignets down in the French Quarter? It makes me want to have beignets down there. I've only been to New Orleans once, but boy, was it fun. I had a great time. My beverage today, I just have ginger ale with a splash of raspberry syrup thrown right on top to give it a little bump up. Non-alcoholic, but boy is it refreshing. And we have got a great day here in the Pacific Northwest. It is sunshiny. I'm so happy to see the sun. We have had torrential rain on and off for the last week, and it is turning a corner. We are supposed to have sunshine through the weekend, through Father's Day. I'm totally looking forward to that. I think that's a great plan. Today is a milestone for me. Thank you, all of you who have subscribed to my channel. Today I hit 1,000 subscribers and I am thrilled. I just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for clicking that little button and subscribing and supporting me, and it really means a lot. I don't know that I thought I would ever reach 1,000 subscribers, and I did, and I thank you all. It's not anything I did, it's what you did, and boy, I appreciate it. It is, like I said, it's a milestone, and it just makes me ridiculously, sillily happy. So for you subscribers, thank you. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. For those that are new here, because I know there's a few people that have just joined, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am happy to have you. Okay, this is a channel about cross-stitch, so let's talk stitching. Grab your beverage, sit back, we'll just have a little chat about cross-stitch. Hopefully I'll inspire you with a few things. Maybe you'll see a project you want to pick up, or you're going to look at a project and go, I'm never stitching that. I can relate. There are some projects where I thought that person has got a lot of gumption, because that one's way too big for me. But let me tell you, I started a little project and I finished it last week, which is good because I need it to be completely finished, FFO'd, by Saturday. My oldest niece is getting married on Saturday, so I made her a little tiny wedding sampler. It's tiny, you guys. It's this big. But it's done. It's stitched. It's not FFO'd. So let me show you. It is a super cute little pattern. If you need something to whip up for somebody for some special occasion, I bought this off of Etsy, and it just couldn't be cuter. It's by Clementine's Needle, and we're of a Scandinavian background around here, so that just kind of said Scandinavian things to me. So here it is. There is my wedding sampler for my niece. They're getting married on the 6th of June. So I put the or not the 6th, they're getting married on the 20th of June. So I decided to put the 6 in the middle, kind of do it the European way, because I thought 6/20/20 would look like I was just calling out the year and not the month, the date, and the year. So hopefully they will be okay with that. And I went in my mask. I was in there for like 10 minutes tops, but I went to Joann's because I didn't have a frame. I didn't have any way to FFO this. So I want to show you what I picked up. I found this little piece of fabric. It's already pre-cut, and it's got, you know, kind of leaves in there. And it turns out the leaves in that almost exactly match the floss color. So I'm really excited about that. And then I didn't know for sure on a frame. So this was in the clearance section. So I thought I could mount the red fabric on, you know, some backer board, and then put this on top of that on backer board as well. So in the end, I picked up this, and I kind of liked it. It's kind of shadow boxy, so I think it might be kind of cool. But the frame is almost the exact same color as my linen, so I was a little worried that it might be too matchy-matchy. So I picked up a second frame, which is much darker, and I thought I could still do the double mounting and then just take the glass out of it. So once I get it on the backer board, then I've actually got, you know, 2 frames to work with and see which I like better. So I shopped quickly, I shopped efficiently, got the heck out of Dodge. It was great. They actually had a sign on the door when I walked in that the maximum number of people allowed in the store at a time was 50. I think including employees, there might have been 30 at the most. And it's a big place, it's spread out. So I felt like I was completely safe. I saw I think, thinking back, I think everybody had a face mask on. And I know there's lots of controversy about that. I don't want to start that whole thing. But for me, it just gives me that, you know, extra layer of comfort knowing that I'm not transmitting to somebody, they're not transmitting to me. Anyway, I just felt like it was okay to do that. So that's the first thing that I worked on this week. Now, if you remember last week's video, I had lots of frogging to do because I kept making mistakes. So I went and I got out my trusty scissors and I snipped out all of my goofs. And the first one that I worked on correcting was my Stone Street Stitchworks Fireworks on the 4th. So I got it taken out because if you recall, I had done the windows wrong. So I got the windows pulled out, and I got it recounted, I got it put back in, and then I got the second row of windows in. So this is back on its way. I'm feeling good about this. I'm shooting for a finish on this by the end of the month. Now that I've said it out loud, I probably sabotaged myself, right? But I would love to have this finished and up on my wall for the 4th of July. And I'm gonna concentrate quite a bit on that one. So I don't know how many stitches I got into that one, but I've kind of stopped counting stitches. It kind of I don't know, it didn't make me crazy to count stitches. It was kind of fun to do that and see how many stitches I did, but I've kind of moved over and I'm now counting hours. And so I think I put maybe 3 hours into this one when you count the frogging. So I got about 3 hours in on this one. Most of my stitching was done on the wedding sampler for my niece because I mean, I've got to get it done. You know, Saturday's the wedding, so it's got to be wrapped and ready to go. So I had to concentrate on that. So that was the second thing I worked on this week. And then, okay, I got to reach over way over here. Hold on. The next 2 things I worked on was the Secret Garden. And we all know I had a great big huge goof on that one as well. And when I was frogging, I found a second mistake, which was also exciting to find out that I had to take out almost everything because what I had done on the pattern, for whatever reason, the T and the, instead of centering it over the E, I had centered it over the S. So everything was off. I could not figure out how one little mistake, I had made a mistake down here in this pink flower, how that could cause such havoc. But it did. I mean, I just absolutely could not get everything, you know, fit in there. It was just weird. So as I was, you know, frogging away, taking my stitches out, I realized, oh my gosh, the T is in the wrong spot. No wonder nothing fits. No wonder I can't fudge it at all. I mean, it was driving me crazy. So I got the flower fixed. I pulled out I pulled out all the flowers around it that were, you know, half stitched that weren't in the right place. And I got it all fixed. I got the robin stitched and I got some of the other flowers. There I am, you guys. Look at that! Ah, I love it. I love it. I'm like, I have to keep showing it to you because I am so happy with how this is stitching up. I'm thrilled. Thrilled. Yes, I will finish this along with all the other Stitchy Book Club people. For a while, I thought, this is so hard. I don't know if I'm ever going to get it right. It was that was my problem. Once I figured that out, everything lined up, right? The universe put itself together in a big old fat cross stitch and like, now things line up. So I am really, really happy about how that is coming together. You guys, I'm looking at myself in the camera. I cannot believe how long my hair is. COVID hair, right? The exciting thing is, though, our hair salons are open here in the Pacific Northwest again. I got a call from my hairstylist and I had an appointment on the books. Well, not have. It's for tomorrow. She's like, the shop is open. You can have 30 minutes. Sit in your car, wear your mask. I'll call you. You know, do you feel comfortable? Do you want to come in? And I'm like, I'll be right down. So, COVID hair is going to get corrected tomorrow. I'm so thrilled. But you know what the funny thing is, you guys? My husband said, I like your longer hair. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh. So now I'm like having that, well, do I cut all the length off or do I keep some of it because he likes it? The one thing I know for sure is I'm gonna keep my bangs. I'm gonna keep the short bangs because when I go back to work, we all are gonna have to wear, you know, the face masks at work, which is fine. And the way I was doing my bangs before, you know, I kind of had them angled a little bit so they were a little bit longer, kind of, you know, running into the hair. And I didn't realize how much time I spent flicking them. And now that I went and just chopped them straight off, I'm not doing that. And I'm thinking that's going to be a good thing when I go back to work, to not be messing with my face, because I'm sure I'm going to be messing with my mask and I don't want to mess with my bangs. So I don't know. Maybe I'll take an inch off. Maybe I'll take 2 inches off. I don't know. You'll see next week what I do. But I know I'm going to keep the bangs. All right. So what else did I stitch on this week? I stitched on the wedding sampler. I stitched on the firework. I stitched on the secret garden. And the last thing I stitched on this week was cinnamon stars. It's been a while since I broke that guy out, right? So there's our pattern, cinnamon stars. And oh my goodness, I cannot believe all the color changes in the stones on the side of that house. Boy, does that take a lot of time to do. So I put my last little stone in this afternoon, and so then I just need to fill in all the white around it, and then I can move on to the big center part of, I think of it as a cabin, maybe it's a house, I don't know, but anyway, the center part of the building. And I'm feeling good about that one too. Okay, I got a confession. I'm a monster. Are you ready? See this? This is my favorite pencil. It is a Sumo grip pencil. And what I discovered as I'm sitting around tearing out, ripping out, frogging out all of my stitches, I don't follow a pattern very well. I can't figure out where I was when I'm looking up, watching the Great British Baking Show and looking down at my pattern, unless I am taking my pencil and I am literally crossing each area off as I complete it. And I'm not doing it on a working copy. That was not a thing when I started cross-stitching in the 90s. You just wrote on the pattern you paid for, right? So I have gone back to my old 1990 ways. Me and my trusty Sumo grip, we are marking off each area as I complete it. And let me tell you, I'm making progress. This is what has been missing from my stitching for a year, is my pencil. Now, I always intend, when I start a project, to make a working copy. We have a copy machine at work when I'm there. I'll forget. I'll bring my chart to work, and then I'll forget to photocopy it, and then I won't have a working copy. And in all of this, you know, staying home, pandemic, coronavirus stuff, I have not really had access to an easy way to print out a working copy of my pattern. And so last week I just gave in and I just started writing on the actual charts. And let me tell you, it felt pretty doggone good. So I'm a monster. I'm not going to be sharing my patterns with you when I'm done with them, because they will be marked all over the place. That's just the way it is. I can't help it. It's helping me stay focused, stay on track, keep myself moving in a straight line. There you have it. Okay, so that's what I stitched this week. And what am I going to stitch next week? Well, I'm going to stitch on those same 3 pieces. I checked out the Enchanted Stitching Facebook group for what their prompts were, and I'm just glancing at my computer. Let's see, the first one talks about Mike. We're doing Monsters Inc. this month, and so it talks about Mike and Celia. They call each other pet names. And so stitch on a whip that is cutesy or romantic. So I decided for that one. I think Cinnamon Stars is super cutesy. It's got that yummy cabin. It's got all those cute sunflowers at the bottom, those wonderful stars in the sky. So I'm going to use that for prompt number 1. Prompt number 2 talks about Roz, who is the administrator of the Monster Scare floor, and how she has the keys to everything, and she's always telling Mike, I've got my eye on you, I'm watching you, I'm always looking at what you're doing, blah blah blah. So she said, so the prompt for this one is stitch on a whip. You are watching carefully to prevent frogging. What do you think? Secret garden, right? We don't want any more frogging on the secret garden. So that's going to be prompt number 2. I'm gonna jump down. Prompt number 4 is put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Remember that cute little song and dance thing that Mike and Scully do together? So anyway, I need to stitch on a whip that you put in timeout for some reason. And that was Fireworks on the 4th. I put that thing in timeout when I realized that I had misstitched on it. It made me mad. I set it aside, you know, not that long, you know, maybe a day and a half, but still got in timeout. So I'm going to use that for prompt number 4. And prompt number 3 is going to be a new start. Now, I know I said, I think last time, that I couldn't have a new start until I finished something. However, hold the phone, don't need me to freak out. What I'm going to start is something that I was going to start in January, but it took a long time to get the fabric. Things just slowed down. That's okay, I'm not mad. So, this has been a planned start since January, and I am going to start Harbor Haven. Yes, I have my fabric, I have all my floss, I'm ready. What prompt number 3 is, it says, in honor of Boo, either stitch a design or a designer that begins with B, or stitch on a design that uses the word Boo. Okay, this is from By the Bay Needle Arts. Bee! It's a bee! So, I'm going to start By the Bay. Now, that has been a subject of much thought around my house on how am I going to do this. My fabric, let me show you. Let me grab this. Sorry, out of camera. My fabric for this thing, because there's 12 charts, is 40. The finished piece will be 48 inches long and 12 inches high. That's a big one, right? I stitch in hand. I don't think I can wrangle that much fabric stitching in hand. So what I did is I broke out my trusty scroll frame. Now, when I started stitching, I actually started stitching on scroll frames, and I actually like them, but what I found is I like to do the sewing method, and scroll frames don't really accommodate the sewing method all that well, because, you know, your fabric is really taut on here, and it's more for, you know, pushing and pulling or doing the two-handed, the top and bottom stitching. Anyway, I just thought, this is a lot of fabric I'm going to have to manage. So I put my fabric on scroll frames. Now, normally you stitch on a scroll frame, right? You stitch in here and then you roll it up to the top, you know, from the bottom. But nobody makes a scroll frame that's 50 inches long, and you wouldn't want it. It'd be impossible. So I decided to flip it on here. So I thought, well, I'm gonna stitch, you know, from the left to the right, and then I'll just roll it as I go. Well, it's become really apparent that stitching on an area that's 24 inches tall, that's really up there and back. Excuse me. So even though I have put my fabric on the scroll frame, I don't think this is going to work for me. So I was talking to some other stitchers last night, and I said, I do have Q-snaps. So here's a 11 by 11 Q-snap. I'm going to try Q-snaps. And I contacted a fellow stitcher who makes grime guards. Thank you, Michelle. And we got together through Instagram messages. Is that what it's called? And she made me a Q-snap for my little 12 by 12. And so I'm going to try that. Wish me luck, you guys. I stitched one piece in a Q-snap, and it's a completely different motion than doing the sewing method. And by the end of the second day of the piece in the Q-snap, my hand hurt because this is not fabric. I mean, this is, you know, PVC. It's hard, and the inside of my hand hurt from holding the Q-snap. So think good thoughts for me that I can, you know, make peace with this thing. But I think, you know, I don't think I have a choice, because I don't know how Beth Twist manages all that fabric, because she said she stitches in hand and on everything, on her, you know, her great big huge pieces. I don't think I can manage that much fabric. I just don't think I can do it. I think I'm going to need a little aid. So I'm going to try this. So that's my big plans. I'm gonna try the scroll frame thing, or not the scroll frame, the Q-snap. I'm gonna take the fabric off that scroll frame and I'm gonna load it into the Q-snap and I'm gonna get started. So that's my plans. So I've got an FFO to complete for my niece. I've got to put Harbor Haven on a Q-snap. Get that a start, and then those other pieces, I'm going to work on those. I did have a little stash enhancement this week, not much. I have a subscription to the Just Cross Stitch magazine, and the last couple of issues have not been filled with projects that I was all that excited to stitch. Oh my gosh, this issue, the August 2020 issue, it just showed up yesterday in my mailbox. Look at all those flags. I have so many things that I want to stitch. I thought I'd just show them to you really quick in case you don't get this magazine. They have got this cute little kind of beach themed pattern in there. I love anything with a sailboat, right? So I just think this is adorable. The other thing, oh my goodness, look at these kites. Aren't they charming? I just love them. And the designer on this one is Doreen Jones, and I see her stuff in like the Cross Stitch Gold magazines. Maybe I haven't been paying attention. I have never seen her stuff in Just Cross Stitch before, which doesn't mean she hasn't been in Just Cross Stitch before. I just haven't noticed. Maybe I just haven't paid attention. So that was kind of fun to notice her. And then, look at this little cutie patootie sampler. I love this. Cora Wing sampler. Those cute, I think they're dogs. Look at those little dogs. I love those. So that's in there if you need a cute little sampler. I had a viewer tell me I should not, you know, lick my finger and do the, I'm trying really hard. It is so ingrained in me to lick and, you know, move the page. Every time I do it, I'm like, oh, I did that thing. And they've got a preview in here of 9 ornaments for Christmas. Aren't these cute? Ah, that is so cute. And then, oh, I like this patriotic stitch. Look at this. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. That's really stunning. I like that. And then the last one is another patriotic stitch, and this is from Cherry Hill Stitchery. And this is the, what do they call it? Star Spangled Sheep. Ah, cute, right? Super cute. So I have got lots of good stitching from this month's Just Cross Stitch magazine. So I was happy to see that. The other stitchy mail I got was my So Much to Love bag. Look at those bees. Yep. And as always, it came full of goodies. We got an exclusive chart. We got tea and candy and a bee theme. Let me pull this out. Get that out of there for you. It's still in a plastic bag, but I think you can still see it. A bee-themed, what is it? Scissor fob. That's what I'm trying to remember. Scissor fob. And that is by Stitching Along. Look at that. So if you need a scissor fob, boy, this is super nice. I would hit her up. The other thing, of course, we got a really nice letter from her. We got tea. We got a little candy, and then she always writes us a lovely little letter. So that was super great. And then the other thing, I got 2 other things in the mail. I belong to the Silver Needle, A Little Help from Our Friends Circle. So it's not monthly, I think it's every other month we get a kit. And this month's kit is by Chessie and Me. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those whales. And there's wonderful pins, pin minis. It's got the fabric. It's got the flosses. It is ready to go. I am always happy when my club kit shows up. I can hardly wait to stitch that. That is going to be a super fun stitch. And then the last thing, I won one of Michelle Bindy's auctions a couple weeks ago, and it was this beautiful project bag. Look at those bunnies. I love bunnies. So there's a little project bag, and it comes with finishing fabric. It comes with a chart. There are, you know, buttons and, you know, all sorts of yummy things came in this bag. So I was really happy to be the winner of one of her auction items. I think this might be the first one I've ever captured. So yeah, I don't know what project I'm going to put in this one yet, but apparently I need to start 2 new projects, right? Because I got 2 new project bags. All right. Well, you guys, that's it for my update. I hope that you found something lovely to inspire you, that you're going to break out your stitching. I'm going to finish my beverage, and I think I'm going to move my fabric off of my scroll rod and into my Q-snap, and I'm gonna get started on Harbor Haven today. It's a beautiful sunny day outside, and I think I can sit on my back porch. Once again, thank you to all of you. Thank you for subscribing and pushing me up to that 1K mark for subscribers. I really appreciate it. So have a great stitching week. All right, you guys, stitch happy. Bye.